For centuries, certain ancient texts have been shrouded in mystery, feared by many, and whispered to be the devil's own handiwork. 10 ancient books said to be cursed by the devil himself. First up, the Devil's Bible, also known as the Codex Gigas. Our first stop takes us to the 13th century, to the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible. Now, this massive manuscript, measuring 92 centimeters tall and 50 centimeters wide, contains a collection of texts, including the Old and New Testaments, as well as various apocryphal works. Now, according to legend, the scribe who created the Codex Gigas made a pact with the devil to complete the manuscript in a single night. As the story goes, the scribe succeeded, but at a terrible cost. His soul was forever bound to the book. The Codex Gigas is a compilation of various texts, including the Old and New Testaments, the work of Flavius Josephus, the work of Isidore of Seville, medical texts, including the works of Galen, and a collection of spells. Now, incantations, also magical formulas. According to legend, the Codex was created by a monk named Herman the Recluse, who was said to have made a pact with the devil in order to complete the manuscript in one single night. Like I mentioned a minute ago, the story goes that Herman was unable to complete it on his own, so he called upon the devil for assistance. The devil agreed to help Herman, but at the cost of his soul. The Codex is currently housed at the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm, where it is considered one of the library's most valuable and famous holdings. The manuscript is in relatively good condition, considering its age, and is still bound in its original leather cover. The Codex Gigas had a significant influence on Western culture, particularly in the realm of literature and art. Now, the manuscript's depiction of the devil has been, reproduced and parodied countless times, and its legend has inspired numerous works of fiction and art. Number 2, the Picatrix. Now, next we travel to the 11th century, to the realm of Islamic mysticism, where we find the infamous Picatrix. Now, this ancient grimoire, written in Arabic, contains a collection of magical rituals and incantations. The Picatrix is said to hold the secrets of the occult, and those who dare to read its pages are believed to be cursed by the devil himself. One legend tells of a powerful sorcerer who, after mastering the Picatrix, was consumed by an insatiable lust for power, ultimately leading to his downfall. Now, the Picatrix contains a wide range of magical and occult knowledge, including astrological tables and charts, instructions for creating magical talismans and amulets, recipes for magical potions and elixirs, techniques for divination and scrying, and rituals for invoking spirits and demons. The Picatrix has been translated into several languages, including Latin, Spanish, and English. The most well-known translation is the Latin version, which was produced in the 15th century. Now, in recent years, several modern editions of the Picatrix have been published, including a critical edition of the Arabic text and an English translation. The Picatrix has been the subject of several controversies and criticisms, including accusations of promoting black magic and demonic invocation, criticisms of the text's perceived misogyny, and debates as well over the text's authenticity and historical accuracy. Despite these controversies, the Picatrix remains a significant and influential text in the history of Western spirituality. Number 3, the Book of Abramelin. In the 15th century, a Jewish Kabbalist named Abraham von Worms penned the Book of Abramelin, a mystical text that promised to reveal the secrets of the universe. However, this book came with a terrible warning. Those who attempted to follow its instructions would be cursed by the devil. One story tells of a young man who, after reading the book, became obsessed with the occult, eventually losing his mind and his soul to the devil. The book is perhaps the most famous for its description of the Abramelin operation, which is a complex and demanding ritual that aims to attain spiritual enlightenment and communicate with the divine. Now, the Book of Abramelin has had a significant influence on Western occultism, particularly in the areas of ceremonial magic and thuggery. Now, the text has been studied and used by numerous occultists and magicians, including Aleister Crowley, who considered it one of the most important magical texts of all time. Number 4, the Goetia. The Goetia, also known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, is a 17th century grimoire that contains a collection of demonic seals and incantations. This book is said to hold the power to summon and control demons, but at a very terrible cost. According to legend, those who dare to use the Goetia will be cursed by the devil and forced to endure a lifetime of torment and suffering. One story tells of a young woman who, after using the Goetia to summon a demon, was driven mad by the entity's constant whispers and lunar year. You know, the Goetia lists 72 demons, each with their own unique powers and attributes. Some of the better known demons are Asmodeus, the demon of lust and desire, Beelzebub, if I'm pronouncing that right, the demon of flies and disease, Azazel, the demon of sacrifice and scapegoating, and Belial, the demon of deceit and corruption. The Goetia has been accused of promoting black magic and demonic invocation, but despite these claims, it does remain a very significant and influential text in the history of Western occultism. Number 5, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. Now, this 17th century grimoire attributed to Pope Honorius III is said to contain a collection of magical rituals and incantations. However, this book is believed to be cursed by the devil, and those who dare to read its pages will be forever changed. One story actually tells of a young priest who, after reading the Grimoire of Pope Honorius, became obsessed with the occult, eventually even losing his faith and soul to the devil. The Grimoire of Pope Honorius has caused a lot of controversy, particularly among Catholic scholars and theologians. Now, the text attribution has been disputed, with some arguing that the text is a forgery or a hoax. Now, despite these theories, the text has been studied and used by numerous occultists and magicians, including Aleister Crowley as well. Number 6, the Book of the Secret of Secrets. This ancient text, attributed to the medieval alchemist Raza, is said to contain the secrets of alchemy and the occult. However, this book is believed by some to be cursed by the devil, and those who attempt to follow its instructions will be met with disaster and tragedy. Now, the Book of the Secret of Secrets has been the subject of a lot of criticism and controversy, particularly among scholars who have questioned, the authenticity and historical accuracy. Some have even argued that the text is a forgery or just actually a compilation of earlier sources. Number 7, the Key of Solomon. This ancient grimoire attributed to King Solomon is said to contain a collection of magical seals and incantations. However, this book is believed to be cursed by the devil, and those who use its power will be met with terrible consequences. There are two main versions of the Key of Solomon. One, the Clavicula Salomonis, or the Key of Solomon, which is the most well-known and widely used version, and 2, the Lemegeton, or the Lesser Key of Solomon, which is a shorter and more concise version. In recent years, the Key of Solomon has been reinterpreted and recontextualized by modern scholars, and some have seen the text as just a source of inspiration for chaos magic and other forms of modern occultism. Number 8, the Book of Lies. This ancient text, attributed to the medieval occultist Aleister Crowley, is said to contain a collection of mystical and magical teachings. However, this book is believed to be cursed, again, by the devil, and those who attempt to follow its instructions will be met with mayhem. Now, one legend tells of a young occultist who, after reading the Book of Lies, became obsessed with the pursuit of having magical powers. Eventually, he lost his grip on reality and descended into madness. The Book of Lies is structured as a series of paradoxical, and often contradictory statements, each designed to challenge the reader's perceptions and understandings of the world as we know it. The chapters cover a wide range of topics, including 1, the nature of truth and reality, 2, the role of the individual in society, 3, the relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm, 4, the secrets of magic and spiritual growth. Number 9, the Necronomicon. This one takes us to the realm of horror and fantasy, where we find the infamous Necronomicon. This ancient text, created by H.P. Lovecraft, is said to contain the secrets of the Old Ones, ancient beings of immense power and malevolence. However, this book is believed to be cursed by the devil, and those who even dare to read its pages will apparently be driven mad by the eldritch horrors that lurk within. One story tells of a young scholar who, after reading it, became obsessed with the Old Ones, eventually losing his life in a very tragic ritual gone wrong. Lastly, number 10, the Munich Manual of Demonic Magic. The Munich Manual is a medieval grimoire that's said to contain powerful and forbidden knowledge of demonic magic. The book is believed to have been written in the 15th century by a German sorcerer who made a pact with the devil. The book's cursed reputation has also made it a popular topic in horror fiction and folklore. Now, according to legend, the Munich Manual of Demonic Magic is cursed by the devil himself. Anyone who attempts to read it or use the knowledge contained in the book is said to be cursed with bad luck, illness, and even being unalived. Whether or not you believe in the supernatural, these stories serve as a reminder of the power of knowledge and the dangers of of delving too deep into the mysteries of the unknown. Thanks so much for watching. I'm your host Ashley, and until next time, stay scared. I have a question for you. Do you want to start sleeping with the lights on? If so, I got you. The most horrifying found footage that will leave you shaking while I take fear factor to a whole new level. First up, we have the infamous Dybbuk box. You might have heard of this story before, but for those who haven't, let me fill you in. As the story goes, a Dybbuk box appeared in 2003 when antique store owner Kevin Mannis bought a vintage wine box from a 103-year-old Holocaust survivor on eBay. After a strange string of unexplained hauntings, reoccurring nightmares, bruises, and smells of ammonia, the box found its way back onto eBay and landed in the hands of a man named Jason Haxton. Now, he too felt the wrath of the box and ended up burying it somewhere in Missouri, but not before pulling it out of the ground to appear on the television show Ghost Adventures. Haxton had paid $280 for the box, and when opened, contained a goblet, 2 locks of hair tied with string, pennies from the 1920s, a dried rosebud, a cast iron candlestick holder, and a granite statue engraved with Hebrew letters.